Sorry, you couldn't hear any of us because I'm an idiot. Welcome to ACC. I had the audio muted. We are affiliated with Rogue Energy if you use code PHX for 10% at checkout. I'm an idiot, don't mind me. And I'm joined by Ollie. I
Hello,
only just
it's a great
noticed the
start.
grey bars. I only noticed,
Uh,
the audio bars are going up, but I don't see the green. Where's the green? uh, I'm an
it's a
idiot.
great start back.
Here we go. Qualifying finally underway. So, if you just saw there at the end of practice, I don't know if you saw. Sorry about that, Tix. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, Ollie, but Ackerman putting in the new fastest lap for free practice. It'll be interesting to see what they can do. A quick look
Yeah.
to the track. This is a 4.7 kilometer track. Ignore the terrible graphics, okay? I'm working on it. But the current track record is a 1:44.9 by Oosby. So it'll be interesting to see if we have any new track records set today during qualifying. I wouldn't be surprised if we have new track records set today.
Yeah, I'll be keeping a very close eye on that.
I think so. Our top three contenders will comfortably be Oosby, Ackerman, and Shanae.
Yep.
But curious to know who will be the surprise runners. We do have a new driver today. We have Max Barbu, sorry, running the driver number 14. Sorry, Mattia Barbu on ACC. Newest driver joined the grid this week, I believe.
Yeah.
Also off, only Mercedes driver on the grid, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do with that car. I mean, I think free practice he set the 5th fastest lap, so
Oh well.
I'm expecting some good things from him.
Yeah.
No pressure, first race, but you got to put in the good laps.
Yeah.
Today as well is the first day for having ourselves some custom liveries. If you have a look, we are sponsored. We are viewing Kelly as we see that he has his own custom liveries for some beautiful images on his car. I noticed there as well he's got Spiffing Brit on the top with our Phoenix logo. Good old Spiffing Brit, who doesn't love him?
I'm Phoenix Sim Sport on the rear wing as well.
Yeah, and we've also got our Rogue Energy. PC Master Race, of course.
Yep.
Nothing under the front, the rear wing.
Oh.
But if we go on, who else do we have? We have James Konos, the first half of Team Rocket, with an amazing icon for themselves. I actually kind of like it. Actually looks really cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the classic "you can't park here, mate." Park there, mate.
Nah.
Brilliant. Who else do we have? We have Noah Ackerman, our last season Pro Championship driver, also with Team Rocket, with his purple goose at the back and a little message from Maverick, spelt wrong. We have two Mavericks, and he's going for the wrong Maverick. It's brilliant. I've told him this before, and I don't think he has any intentions of changing that anytime soon.
No.
But lovely car. And then finally, we have our current defending first place sitter for the championship, Oosby, the second half of Pro Team BMW. Also repping their Fight or You'll Lose, Spiffing Brit and Phoenix at the top. We do have Greenpoint, but I do not believe we have any Greenpoint drivers with us today. Oh no, we do. Here we go. Here's Falkenberg. Falkenberg repping the Greenpoint livery. Very simple, very clean design. I actually quite like it.
Yeah.
Though, looking at it now, I think maybe I might have an issue on my end, because I'm pretty certain he did have some custom things on there, but I can't see them. Either that, or I'm just kind of half blind. As we see now, people putting in some times. We've got Ackerman with a fast lap, a 1:44.5. Cullen, Oosby coming in second now with 2.5 tenths off of Ackerman. Cullen in third with a Okay, Shanae in third instead. You know what? I'm going to stop talking. They clearly are just putting in laps that I can't catch up with.
This is where you need to be a really, like, quick talker.
Yeah.
And, like, everything's changing.
That, but then also ACC tells you the time difference. It doesn't tell you, like, their actual lap times, which is annoying. I'm going through the different options, and it doesn't tell me their lap times. GT4s are still yet to put on a put down a lap. Interesting to see what they can do. We got Felzetti and the Aston Martin. Then we got our two Porsches, if I can get to them, if the game will allow me to spectate them. There we go. There's one of them. I actually quite like the green point liveries. Very clean, very nice.
Yeah.
Who's that right behind them? Shanae. Oh, there we go. There's our resident BMW enjoyer. Oh, almost losing the back end as well. I love that orange on Shanae's car. That's actually a really nice orange.
Yeah, whenever I see other people's liveries, it just makes me feel bad about mine.
Well, I think it's time for you and I to get to the drawing board to try and get that sorted.
Yeah. Already got some ideas in mind.
I think I'd much prefer the GT race, the AC race, to be on the track without the chicane. I think it'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Especially for F1, of course, because you don't, have the death chicane that, will probably kill your car.
Yeah, and then you can just take it flat out in an F1 car.
Well, relatively flat out. You'll probably be able to go through that right-hander before the pit straight in about 6th gear. 5th or 6th gear. It'll be like 1, 2, 3, the 4th corner, the 4th and 9th corner you can only do in like 5th or 6th gear. So it'll probably be like that because it's a 90-degree corner. I was honestly expecting someone to be cheeky and put like eyes on where the headlights are or around the headlights. So when you have a camera angle facing the front, you've just got a death stare.
We're doing that now.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, we've got ourselves our own livery design. Yep. As we see, the Purple Goose puts in a new fastest lap, a 1:44.0, increasing that gap from the current defending champion, the current contender for the championship, Ousby. In fact, if I remember correctly, I believe the standings right now puts, let's see, Ousby in the lead by 34 points. So plenty of points difference between Ousby and Altosis. But we do still have 4 more races. We've got Barcelona, Hungary, Suzuka, and Monza. So still plenty of opportunities for Ackerman to get those points back. This race, if Ousby gets the race win, will be his 4th race win in a row with Phoenix for the 3rd season here at ACC. So it'll be certainly interesting to see what he can get from this. Still quite unfortunate to see 2 weeks ago for Nürburgring, our first night race. Was it night race?
It was.
Yeah, night race.
Was a night race. Yeah.
That Shanae, who was leading the race and was in contention to win the race, unfortunately got disconnected because the game said no, and so he was lost.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. One thing to point out then, you said the current track record is a 1:43.9, right?
It's a 1:44.9.
Oh, well, it's
beaten by a whole second.
So,
no, yeah, 1:43.9. I've got the record wrong.
Ow.
But no, Ackerman is beaten the track record by exactly 1/100th of a second.
That didn't take long.
No.
as my game has finally updated.
Yeah, I clearly cannot read. That is a new track record. We will now start to be keeping track of the track records at all the different circuits we'll be racing at. Unfortunately, there isn't much of a prize. It's just merely a trophy to be able to say you have the track record for the time being. But it will still be interesting to see if we have a driver come in and beat that. Though I can't imagine Uzbi letting that stand for a while. I can see Uzbi, like, shortly after this race going back to Spain just to beat the track record.
Nah.
As we see our top three currently separated by 4/10, we've got Shanae now in second place, but still not close enough to Ackerman to take the take that first place, that front row start.
Yep, got just under 4 minutes left of qualifying. Be interesting to see if a lot changes.
We do have Max, our newest driver on the grid, currently sitting 5th place. Very good start for his first race here with us at Phoenix. Sitting just over a second behind 4th place. The top of the AM tier, which is Elcor. Elcor, of course, running the good old Mercedes? What about McDonald's livery, which we're not sponsored or affiliated with them. However, we are affiliated with Rogue Energy.
Use code PHX at checkout for 10% off your order.
Thank you.
Teamwork.
Where's resident happy face? I want to see happy face. There's happy face. There's the green mean time machine. I honestly don't know why I throw time machine in there, but you know what? We'll stick with it. There's time machine now.
Yeah. You've said it so much that it's just...
It rolls off the tongue better than the green mean machine. It's the green mean time machine. It just hits better.
Yeah. Right, that's it. It's now the official name.
Should I just get James to force it now?
Yeah.
Green lean racing machine. That's also really good, actually.
Many different options.
Green lean racing machine. But I think you need to have mean in there. The green mean racing machine, I think, is better.
We're gonna have so many different versions.
Of course. So we follow along with Falzetti, a current leading driver in the GT4 Championship. Oh, sorry, not GT4 Championship, for the GT4 qualifying. You heard it that specifically, gotcha. I mean, I think Timbo's also called it that before. Kevin's, of course, named it himself, but then I've changed the name. Hi, Formula 1. God, imagine if the actual F1, like, what's it called, Twitch channel, join the stream. I'd flip.
Yeah. I would absolutely freak out.
As we've got ourselves 30 seconds left to qualifying. Look at that livery. Oh my god. That pro BMW. There goes Usby.
Seeing all those cars come out of the final chicane all in order was really nice. Don't know why, it just was.
Oh no, I completely agree. It was quite satisfying. And to my surprise, as well, Shanae and Ackerman have denied Usby a spot on the front row for qualifying for the race.
Wow.
And Usby's only 15 100ths of a second behind Shanae's time, so very close racing for them all. But Ackerman with a stellar lap with a new track record. It is impressive, and I am loving it so far.
Yeah, extremely.
We've got 3 pro drivers on the grid today. We've got ourselves, Ackerman, Shanae, and Usby, so a guaranteed podium for the 3 of them. We've got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 AM drivers, 8 amateur drivers. Plenty of competition for the amateur drivers. Who's going to get the top step of the podium for the AM tier, along with their new, I believe, AM driver, Barbu, the Mercedes driver, currently out on grid, car number 14. And then we've also got 3 drivers for the GT4 Championship here today at Spain. Again, another guaranteed podium for each of them, but who will get the top step of that podium? Be interesting to see. Who else do we have on the track? We've still got the Green Mean Racing Machine, the Leisurely Cruise.
Yep.
Definitely keep an eye out as well, Ollie, because we're looking for our new server banner. Who's going to impress us with a beautiful overtake or a lovely spin? I think we've had enough spins, though. I think we need some clean driving.
Yeah, maybe even like a side-by-side shot. Or we could try and get a photo of the start.
Ooh, we could do photos, but we'll see. We just wait for the grid to be lined up. As we now get to enjoy a nice cruise through the different cars, whilst we wait for qualifying. Oh, not qualifying, sorry, for the race to start. If I remember correctly, we do have no penalties to be served. Possibly? No, round 5, we have plenty of penalties. We have Jushay with a drive-through. Unfortunately, he's not racing today, so we will not see him serve that. We've got Matthias, Jushay, and Kippo also with a pit lane start. I believe all 3 drivers are not racing today in the race. I've repeated myself. So, yeah, I think for the current grid, we've got no penalties whatsoever. Everyone will be starting as normal.
Wow.
Interesting. Enjoy some royalty-free music whilst we wait for the starting grid, as we now do get onto the starting grid, just my luck. 2 minutes now before the race starts. I do hope we have a lot of overtakes. This is a track for a lot of overtaking. Yeah. Nürburgring was nighttime and it was Nürburgring, so overtaking in the dark is kind of difficult.
Yeah, it's very hard to see.
So hopefully we'll have something happen. Is it frozen? Maybe try refreshing, because it doesn't seem frozen on my end. Ollie, can you check the stream, please?
Tix says it's been there.
Ah, okay. Oh, we got 2 green Audis. We've got Cthulhu with a green and blue Audi, and then we got the green mean time machine. I keep saying green mean racing machine. I'll get there in the end.
There's just so many different versions already.
I might just get James to force it.
Yeah.
Just he will now be rebranded as the green mean racing machine. I mean, it'll be a good change.
Yeah, it would.
30 seconds.
Here we go, 30 seconds. Everyone's on the grid. No one in the pit lane.
20 seconds.
Very chill. Very calm. I miss Timbo.
Yeah.
But,
10 seconds.
sorry, Ollie. But I'm gonna do it.
No.
Happy birthday, Ollie, on stream.
Oh, thank you.
And a happy birthday to Timbo. Missing him
Yep.
today. Currently spending it with friends and family, I hope.
Yep.
Ollie spending it with this friends and family, the Phoenix friends and family.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tix.
You know, that is pretty satisfying, just seeing the cars go around the corners. Here we go, onto the main straight. All of the cars. Where are the green lights? Let's get to racing. And across the line. Still not green. There it is. Brilliant start for Shanae. Already 3 wide going down towards the first corner. Who are we going to see ahead? I think Shanae's comfortably ahead at the moment, but he's on the outside line. Oosby down on the inside line. Who's going to come out on top? Possibly 4 wide with Cthulhu almost getting in the mix. Sandwich between the two. Shanae gets spun around. Altosis thrown to the off track. Fortunately finds himself further down the grid now, just behind Kelly down in 9th or 10th place. That was close to 3 of them going 3 wide into the first corner. That was scary.
Yeah, I think Ackerman just got sandwiched between Oosby and Shanae there.
As Cthulhu goes extremely wide out of the corner there into corner 3, now approaching into 4th. Oh, this is so much happening already. It's not even the first sector.
No.
And our timing screens have not been updated because apparently Cthulhu's up into 2nd. Unfortunately, Cthulhu did go wide into turn 3, which meant that he lost out on a lot of positions. Here we go, they're all updating. We've got ourselves Max, the new AM driver, I believe. I believe he will be AM. Currently finds himself in 2nd place. A brilliant start for the new driver here at Phoenix.
Yeah.
Shanae already up 3 positions, up into 12th place now. Past those GT4s, now he's got himself a pack of GT3s to get through as we now approach the chicane to finish the first lap of Spain. As we cross the line, Oosby coming out on top, starting in 3rd. The current defending first place sitter in the championship finishes the first lap with a 1.5 second lead to the drivers behind him. Ackerman up into 8th. Very unfortunate to see. I think all of them were entitled to space. They all were in the right to be where they were. But it's the first corner. The first corner is a sharp right-hander. No one's going to come out of it alive. Only the person on the inside, which is where Oosby found his car perfectly, will survive that corner, fortunately. Yeah. Go slightly back. We've got Ackerman already making positions. He's already gained a position ahead of his teammate. Of course, I'm not surprised there'll be team orders there. Ackerman's got to fight back, try and do the top positions for as many points in the championship. Got to defend his championship title from last season and keep that number 1. Keep the purple goose at number 1. Ackerman now quickly closing down the teammate of Oosby, Jay Kelly, the second part of the pro team BMW. Or the Pro BMW team is rather what I should be saying.
Of course, we are in the second half of the season now, so after this race, there will only be 3 races left of the championship.
And I think if Ousby gets away with more than 20 points this race, he will secure, quite possibly secure himself the championship. I'm not too sure though. I have to double check my maths on that one.
Yeah.
Slightly further back, I think Happy Face was closing in. Falkenberg going quite wide coming into the chicanes. Oh, not into the chicanes, sorry, into, what is that, corner 10 and 11. Happy
then back
Face.
into 9th place already.
I'm missing all of it. If the game would allow me to, you know, jump ahead of the grid. Thank you. We got Ackerman going from possibly going move down the inside into turn 1, down the inside on the teammate of the other BMW. Beautiful move by the Aston Martin driver. Beautiful move from the defending champion. Purple Goose climbing his way back up into this points, back up further to fighting for the championship this season. Ousby, with no surprise, finds himself with a 2.5 second gap. Alcor, the McDonald's looking car. Oh, he's not got McDonald's on it anymore, I don't think.
No!
He's got rid of the McDonald's.
No!
But we do find him right on the rear wing of that Mercedes. Just behind him, we've got Kay Cullen in the Aston Martin as well. Will we see a change in the standings for second place? Will we see the black and blue car up on second place? That was a far more exciting first lap than I was anticipating. I don't know if I'm happy about it or upset about it, or both.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a clean first fight, first battle, but I was also hoping for an exciting battle, just not Shanae and Ackerman spinning out.
Is it going to be one of those cases where it all happens in the first couple of laps and then it, like, the grid separates and things like that?
Here comes Cullen down towards Hamlet. Is he going to try and make a move down the inside? He does look to the inside to make a move. Fortunately, he is far too far away to make a move.
Yep. Chennai then just overtaking James Konos.
Ackerman fighting Cthulhu, almost slight collision between the two drivers. Ackerman almost pushing the Audi driver ahead. But Cthulhu defending quite well, keeping his car positioned perfectly as Altosis goes for the switchback. Beautiful move. Finds himself up into 5th place now. Ackerman not having any of it.
That was a nice move.
Ackerman now also with the new fastest lap of the race.
He's closing.
His current fastest lap is a second, just over a second off of his record best on track as well.
Wow.
So there you head, we got Elcor still right on the tail, going down the inside. Well, who's that? Cullen as well, trying to fight in this position for 3rd. Elcor finds himself now up into 3rd. Can I please go look at the cars behind? Cullen now trying to make a move on the Mercedes driver as they go round. What corner is that? I don't even know. The final corner towards the main straight. I hate that the track I've got is upside down to the track mapping game. Cullen right on the rear wing. He is more than close enough to potentially make a move. He is closing the gap, closing and closing. Is he going to be close enough, though, to dive down the inside? He looks for the move, but he is not close enough, unfortunately. Pressure will be kept on that Mercedes driver, though. Plenty of overtaking opportunities here at Catalonia. Slightly further back, we got Shanae now half a second behind Jay Kelly. Jay Kelly now having to defend the second rival to his teammate up in 1st place. Got to delay his race as much as possible, give as much time as possible to his teammate ahead. parking his car beautifully around the apex, stopping Sinead from making a move, or even thinking about making a move around the inside or the outside there. Let's go, Helicam. Down a very long straight before we have those tight left and right-handers. In F1 you'll find a lot of drivers spinning here, but fortunately GT3, these cars are very heavy. You will not be spinning so easily on those curbs. Sinead really closing that gap, really pushing the limit of what he can do with that car.
Is he going to be close enough?
I think he might have it into the third sector. He does get a very good exit out of that corner. We might see a move done just after the chicane. Just comes down to who can hit those corners perfectly, not lose too much time. Beautifully done by the pair, but Sinead finds himself much closer now to Jay Kelly. So much closer than he was before entering the chicane. He is closing that gap now. He will be close enough for a move. Will we see a move made by the BMW driver? He looks to the inside. He goes for it, late braking into the first corner. Beautiful move. Sinead now finds himself up into 7th place, slowly climbing his way back up. Beautiful move by the two BMW drivers. Beautiful driving by the two BMWs.
Yep.
Fortunately, Sinead is a quicker driver. He did manage to make the move. Very clean, very tidy move.
And a lot of overtakes into that first corner already.
I think the first corner is the favourite corner for everyone's overtaken.
Yeah.
So we look slightly further back. If we have a quick look to the GT4s, we have Falkenberg currently sitting in first place for the GT4 Championship, with Kirby just behind, waiting for him to cross the timing sheets. We'll be able to see the time gap updated, hopefully. As we do have a car sideways. Who is that? Kevin Happyface? No! The Green Mean Racing Machine, I think, has had an unfortunate spin during his race. We have seen drivers come from far worse situations and still win the race, or even win a lot of points. So definitely looking forward to seeing what Kevin can do in this very unfortunate situation, as we now have the time screens updated. Kirby finds himself 4 seconds behind Falkenberg, with Falzetti just a 1.5 seconds behind him. Currently, Falkenberg got a comfortable lead behind his other GT4 drivers.
There is still a lot of time in this race left to go.
Oh, we've managed to just catch Ackerman flashing his lights at the Mercedes driver, trying to get him out the way. Ackerman already up into 4th place, trying to go for 3rd place. Is he going to go for a move around the outside? Very risky into corner 5. No, 4. But he does manage to get his car right there alongside, almost getting into the rear of the Mercedes driver there. Managing to keep on the brakes just in time. Will we see Ackerman be able to get past the Mercedes driver this lap, or will he be stuck behind him for one more lap? This will be huge for Oosby, who's currently 7 seconds, just under 7 seconds ahead of the 2nd place driver, Hamlet.
Yeah. Will also be huge for Sinead as well behind.
Sinead, exactly. Sinead's now in 6th place. 3.5 seconds closing to... No, that's 5.5 seconds. What am I on about? 5.5 seconds behind Ackerman. Ackerman really keeping it tidy, really keeping it clean, right behind into the chicane. Fortunately, the Mercedes driver not getting a great exit through those corners. Ackerman quick on the brakes, losing out a lot of time avoiding a collision, but he does have the pace, he does have that track knowledge. Will we see the Aston Martin driver get his car ahead? Let's drive as if we'll go for the onboard perspective into this first corner. Before the first sector, he is real close on that Mercedes driver, but unfortunately, because of the Mercedes driver's everyone makes mistakes. I mean, even during free practice, we had plenty of people make mistakes into some corners, going wide, going deep into the brakes.
Yeah.
I think Altosis isn't expecting someone who doesn't... I say this, and obviously I'm saying this from... I've not seen Max drive before, but it seems as though he's braking mid-corner because he's gone into the corner with too much speed, which is something that I think Altosis wasn't expecting at all. There are a lot of corners where you see him close the gap by quite a lot, but because of a driver error ahead of him, he has to slam the brakes himself and loses that gap that he's managed to cut down. As we see, there we go. We've got Altosis still stuck behind the Mercedes. Sinead just in the back of the camera view, closing down. He's now closed 4/10 in the past lap to Ackerman. Are we going to see the two drivers fight, or is Ackerman going to be able to clear the Mercedes before Sinead gets even closer into the chicane again? Ackerman keeping it tidy. Ackerman keeping that gap close. Much tidier than last lap. Now as we go down the main straight, are we going to see a move by the Aston Martin driver? Is he going to be close enough to potentially look for a move? 0.3 behind, flashing his lights again. Wants to get ahead. He looks for the inside. Unfortunately, he's not close enough to think about that move just yet. Here he goes, though, keeping his car right alongside, right on the spoiler of that Mercedes. Not giving any room. Trying to take every advantage of the driver ahead. Is he going to go for... I thought he was going to go for a move down the inside. It was going to be extremely risky coming out of the fourth corner there. Fifth corner, sorry.
Oh, as he goes down the inside.
Oh, does he make it? He makes it. There we go. Beautiful move by the Aston Martin driver. Finally able to clear the Mercedes and start to pull away from Sinead and close that gap to Ousby ahead in first place.
Yep.
But the Mercedes isn't out of the clear yet. We still have the other Aston Martin of Kay Cullen right on his tail, trying to take that position. Kay Cullen currently sitting second in the AM standings for this race. No, third, sorry. I'm pretty sure Max is a AM driver. I would assume he is.
I think so. I'll just double check.
Into the chicane. We've got Cullen right on the spoiler of the Mercedes. He has to make a move now. He is far too close to miss this opportunity. Though I think just too far away to even think about a move down the inside into the first corner. Cullen still behind. But Sinead now 3.5 seconds behind. He is closing that gap fast. These two drivers, the Mercedes and the Aston Martin, are going to have a new contender join their fight.
Getting spicy.
Indeed. As Ousby now pulls out a 7-second gap. Unfortunately, Cullen late on the brakes does hit into the back of the Mercedes driver, spinning out. Max, very unfortunate to see late on the braking. But we will see where Max comes out. I believe Max now finds himself down into... what is that? In 6th place, I believe. There it is, 5th place. No, yeah, 6th place. Sinead now 2.3 seconds behind Cullen, rapidly cutting that time down. And of course, unfortunately, that collision with Max will help with cutting the time down. James, oh, there's also another collision ahead. James and the Greenpoint and Porsche Cthulhu as well. What's happened here?
Oh no. And someone's disconnected, I think.
Yes, we have one driver missing. Who do we have missing? I think that... yeah, I think that's James. James is disconnected.
Oh no.
As we see the Mercedes driver Max and Elcor fight round Falkenberg, trying to go into the first corner, now into the second sector. Oh, we just missed that fight. As Kelly now goes round the GT4 driver for Falkenberg. Not Falkenberg. Kirby, sorry. The green points, they've got the same car. It's very difficult to tell. But what has happened to James to have quit the race? Or possibly his game's crashed. I mean, we've had that happen before. Shanae unfortunately had his game just say no and disconnect him. We've also got a change in position after all of that chaos. We've also got Ackerman now find himself behind Shanae. Shanae managed to make the overtake on Ackerman, promotes himself up into third place. Cullen now into second place with Oosby 12.5 seconds ahead, but Shanae and Ackerman closing in real quick. 1.5 and 2 seconds behind respectively for the two drivers to Cullen.
Wow, this is all ramping up.
Yeah, well, I'm confused. What happened? I need to know.
Yeah. Thing is, will James be able to rejoin or not? I'm not sure how it works in AC2.
I believe mid connects are enabled. I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't have as much control on a controller. Yep.
I knew that takes. I imagine we'll have a good handful of reports. I definitely knew that takes. I'm not an idiot, I promise. I'm really rusty with streaming. I don't know what's happened. This is the second stream. It's not okay.
Wait, so was I muted as well?
No,
I
I muted my mic because like obviously my keyboard's really loud.
Yeah.
But then I forgot to unmute it because I forgot I can't keybind that stuff.
Oh.
As we see now, Ackerman and Shanae both in the fight for second place, stuck behind the Aston Martin driver for Cullen. Cullen absolutely helping Oosby, not even on purpose, just coincidentally helping Oosby build up a time gap, a much larger time gap to his contenders behind. Oosby, Altos is flashing his lights, understandably so, still quite frustrated with being stuck behind the two cars. Altos is almost looking to the inside to make a move. Shanae almost going late on the brakes. My voice almost went there. Shut up. Altos is going for a move, though, on Shanae for making a mistake there. Altos now finds himself up into third place. A good fight between the two contenders for the two steps on the podium. Cullen just minding his own business is causing chaos behind him. It's wonderful. As we have Sinister now, the only McLaren on the grid to pit.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
Halfway through the race. I didn't even realize it's been 25 minutes or 22 minutes.
Gone rapidly. A lot.
There goes Ackerman down the inside, making the move on the Aston Martin driver, unfortunately going extremely wide. The Aston Martin driver letting Sinead through as well, not wanting to fight it out, understandably so. Let them fight. They will make their own mistakes. You can then win off of the scraps of their fight. Very good move by Altosis. Very, very unfortunate though to see that he went off track. But then again, very fortunate that Sinead was not close enough to capitalise on that mistake by the Aston Martin driver. We look slightly further back whilst these contenders all fight it out. We've got Cthulhu closing the gap, flashing his lights out of frustration as well. Again, to Kelly just ahead of him into the first corner, right on the tail of that BMW. Trying to get ahead. Crucial points for them.
Having to send a lot of thank you messages.
Well, that's what happens when it's your birthday. You get plenty of well wishes.
Yeah.
Slightly further back, who we have? We've got Falkenberg just on the tail of Schlandshark. I believe that was a 17 or 20 second gap. Can't remember now because it won't show and update the time screen. Thank you, ACC. Useful as always. Let's have a look as the timing screens will now update going into the first sector. Has Ackerman managed to cut that time down to Usby in the lead? Or are they now sitting stationary? 15 seconds. They are cutting that time gap down. Sinead now 1 second behind Ackerman.
Of course, both drivers losing a lot of time trying to get back through the grid.
Indeed, trying to get through all of those other drivers. Trying to get through, I think their biggest struggle this race has been that Aston Martin. Holding them back for about a lap and a half to 2 laps. So hopefully they've not damaged their tyres in any way, damaged their brakes in any way that will impede their ability to cut that time down. Of course, they could pit, they could grab themselves a fresh set of brakes and tyres, though that will also mean that they'll have to get those tyre pressures in the perfect window and recover from the 30 seconds lost from going into the pits, or 40 seconds lost. So it's now a matter of attrition, I believe is the word, trying to keep it clean, keep it tidy, keep the pace consistent, and you will slowly but surely close that gap down. Usby now starting the 15th lap of this race. Soon to join is Ackerman and Sinead, 15 seconds behind. They're closing it around 3/10 per sector, it would appear. But Usby, as the man we all know and love, is someone to be very calm in these situations and is probably conserving his fuel, conserving his tyres for now till it gets to the heat at the moment where he needs to push. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do get close and Usby starts pulling away again. Into the first sector, already 1/10 closer. Fortunately, it's again that kind of stale part of the race, I think. Let's have a look. We've got Cthulhu still just behind Kelly, trying to get ahead, half a second behind. And I think that's currently our closest battle on track.
It's the point in the race where everything seems to just settle down. There's not
Indeed.
many overtaking, not much overtaking, and it's just a case that you don't get into the heat at the moment and keep it consistent.
Exactly, and unfortunately, it's not like F1 where you can rely on your strategy to come out in favour.
Yeah.
It is now just purely down to, can you keep your race consistent? As we see Cthulhu getting a slightly late on the brakes there, causing his back end to spin a little. Not doing him any good for this battle into 7th place. But one to highlight, although unfortunate that he was caught up by some faster drivers behind, he still has had a stellar drive so far in the first half an hour of this race. Matty, I'm going to say Matt, I don't want to slaughter your name, but Matt Barbu has gone with a brilliant race so far for his debut with Phoenix. As I say that, he finds himself in the wall, unfortunately. But it's still impressive. He's got himself in 6th place. He qualified quite well. I think he got 5th place. Found himself in 2nd for a lot of the race because unfortunately there was a three-way collision into the first corner. So still an impressive drive by the Mercedes driver. I was wondering what happened to you, James. I thought after that massive collision you rage quit, but I didn't think you were that type of person. That's really unfortunate you got disconnected.
Yeah, and I've just found out that there's no mid-session joining either enabled.
Oh no. That's unfortunate, James. That's really unfortunate. I was looking forward to seeing that. You know, you were working quite well as a Team Rocket team player. Team orders, letting Altosis through. Oh, you never had a... Oh, that's really unfortunate. Welcome, Nadim. Have you decided to join us for the ACC stream? Can't hear a word you're saying, mate. Yeah, I'm curious to know what happened, James, for the other drivers then, because on our screen it looked as though you had disconnected, and then I think your car potentially caused a collision with someone else, I think.
Maybe the car kept, like, momentum or something.
But the thing is that when Sinead disconnected last time, his car just went poof. For Falzetti at Zandvoort, when his game crashed, his car just stayed there. But if James got disconnected, his car should have just magically disappeared, but I don't think it did.
Really odd.
Indeed. Unfortunately, there's going to be a good handful of reports from that. I think it was a 3-car or 4-car collision. Be interesting to see what happened. We were spectating a different collision, I think. I was spectating an overtake, I think, just as the incident happened. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see a helicam perspective of what happened.
Cthulhu then still stuck behind Jake Kelly.
And Ackman closing that gap down now 13.5 seconds, but Sinead losing time now down to 1.7 seconds behind.
Will there be enough of the race left?
13 minutes left, and he's 13.5 seconds back, so Ackman's got to be putting in a consistent 1 second per lap faster lap time. On top of that, in addition to that, he has to add an extra second or half a second faster if he wants to have the chance of overtaking Ousby as well.
Yeah.
Ousby's last lap being a 1:45.9. I actually didn't get to see what Ousby's last lap was. Yeah, I would think. I think that's what happened. At the end of the straight, your car just continued on. I think you had a car on the outside, so you definitely had one collision, and I think Elcor found himself in the midst of that collision as well, because I'm pretty sure I saw a blue car backwards, a blue and white car backwards. Though I could be wrong. again, we saw the collision and the whole fiasco at the tail end of it as people start driving away.
Yeah, we saw. Not, I wouldn't say the aftermath, but
It's unfortunate. These things happen, which is the annoying part. And we can't even blame Cody's for it because it's not even Codemasters.
yeah.
But, yeah, there isn't much we could say.
You don't have control over it.
Think of it this way, though. Now you get to see firsthand your teammate try and close that gap to Oosby. Your teammate, who also now holds the new track record, beating Oosby's time by 1/100th of a second. So, yeah, it is quite odd. I think it was Shanae's first time disconnecting as well. It's just, yeah. Or even, I've only just noticed it. Wait, no. 143, 144. Never mind. I thought Ackerman just recently put in the best time of the session, a new track record, but no. I'm not losing my mind, I swear. They are both aliens. They're mighty quick. I don't know how they do it. I want to get to that point with ACC where you're able to drive. You're constantly improving, constantly learning, but you're also doing it with no assist, no driving line. And my issue for that is no driving line in ACC is all right, but then if I'm under the pressure of racing other drivers, I'll be more focused on when are they braking than when I should be braking, knowing that we have different cars and different setups.
Yeah, there can be a difference between practicing on the track on your own and racing with other people.
As with Cthulhu still 0.4 behind, still understandably and probably frustrated, stuck behind the BMW driver. I haven't seen him flash his lights recently, but I can't imagine that he's not done it. I think he's definitely done that enough times this race. But I think, I'm going to say it now with 9.5 minutes left, I think unless a mistake happens or if Oosby does not manage to lap a car cleanly, or actually he's not even close to anyone to lap, I think Oosby has practically got this in the bag. I'm going to say it. Touch wood, nothing happens, but it's no surprise that Oosby's stormed ahead. I mean, he is an incredibly quick driver. I think it was just really unfortunate to see a collision between the three drivers. There probably would have been a really good fight for first place here at Catalunya.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is, flashing his lights again down into the first corner. He does appear to have damage to his front car as well, so Cthulhu definitely got into the midst of a fight or into a collision. Not sure which fight it might have been from. So ahead we've got the Mercedes driver, we've got Matt chilling in his own race. 4 seconds gap behind him, 9 seconds gap ahead of him, just relaxing.
Yep.
We've got, let's see, Hamlet now getting past Falzetti, I believe. Yeah, you should be fighting with him. It's unfortunate, James. Honestly, I do feel bad for you. I've not experienced being disconnected, but I know the feeling of being in a fight and then you have troubles happen for you to then not be able to fight anymore because the game says no. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, there's none. Got Cullen 10 seconds behind Shanae, but he's got Hamlet right on his tail, 1.5 seconds behind Shanae. 1.2 seconds behind Ackerman. Whilst Ackerman, let's see if the timing screens will update, please. Finish the first sector. Is 13.5 seconds behind. Yeah, I don't think Ackerman's going to be closing that gap down. Also, I said 1 second a lap. It's actually 1 second a minute. So,
Yeah.
in the space of a lap, Ackerman has to cut down 2 seconds. So he has to consistently be setting a new lap record of a 1:42.4 to be able to catch Ousby.
That's just insane.
Just love the look of the liveries though. If you haven't already, I definitely want to see some more liveries from the drivers. Definitely going to see if... probably going to ping the roll, get everyone to upload their liveries to the Discord so that I can download them and have them available on stream. So we can see some fancy liveries like Ousby's one here with the "Fight or You'll Lose" on their front of the car. Of course, with our Phoenix branding on the sides as well.
Yeah, I need to get to designing a livery.
You, me, and Joe all need to do that.
Yeah.
Though we may not race much, we do still do tons of practice. We have to improve some way or another.
Yeah.
So we can get the practice in with some custom liveries, show off our team, Team Turtle or Turtle Squad. I think we're going to go for Turtle Squad. It sounds much better, and I think it fits our team a lot better.
Plus, we have a logo.
Yeah, we do. So a lot of time saved. We'll have 3 logos on the car.
And it'll just be a case of deciding where to put them and what colours to use.
Oh, easy. Slap Team Turtle on the top.
Ah, yeah.
Well, can you see it from Helicam? We can just about see the Phoenix P on the top of Ousby's car. So I guess we could slap it on the bonnet.
Yeah.
And on the rear wing, say, I don't know, something, because everyone's going to be passing us. Fortunately, because of that, because of our level of noob, or newness to the game, a lot of cars fight us, but then majority, at least in my case, will win the fight.
Yep, but as they say, practice makes perfect.
Exactly. Four minutes left, now 23 laps into this race. Probably hit lap 25 comfortably before the end of this race.
This race has had a lot of action. A lot has been happening.
I'm still a little upset with the first lap incident, but it is what it is. They have managed to make a great comeback. Ackerman finding himself back up into P2. Fortunately, not anywhere close to being able to fight for a win at Catalunya, but still an impressive drive by the Aston Martin driver. And Shanae as well, who started in 2nd place, now finds himself down in 3rd place. Ousby, again, no surprise to anyone here, has put in a stellar performance and has managed to keep his car up on 1st place with a 13-second gap behind him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we just... James, I don't know if you're still here. Can we make a new tier just for Ousby? Because I feel like he deserves his own tier at this point, where he's consistently like 15 to like 30 seconds ahead of every other driver behind him. It's insane.
Yeah.
I feel like Ousby's the type of driver, like some of our F1 drivers, who can do a last to 1st place race. Tier Ousby, yeah, exactly. Because he is in a world of his own. And I think if he did a last to 1st place, he would be able to get through the GT4s. He'd be able to get through, I think, most of the AM drivers. I think to then win the race, Altosis and Ackerman and Shanae would have to work together to kind of build up a gap that Oosby can't cut down. But I think Oosby would still be able to cut that gap down and win the race. We've got Ackerman, not Ackerman, sorry, I keep saying the same name. We've got Elcor going down the outside of Cullen, trying to go for a move into the first corner. Cullen with the inside line will have the better speed. I've lost the words for that corner, apologies, but he'll have the better line with the inside line for that first corner. Finds himself still up into 4th place. Cullen defending quite extremely well after defending to the defending champion and our other competitor Shanae. So like Cullen's clearly he's strong at defending. He's managed to defend 2 championship contenders. Let's see what he can do with Elcor in the last minute of this race. I think this last minute will actually be their last lap potentially. No, Oosby's going to have one more lap because he's coming through the chicane pretty much now. Will we see this fight go on for another lap? Or will we see Elcor, the no longer McDonald's car, get ahead of the Aston Martin driver for 4th place?
Leader's on final lap now.
There it is, leader is on final lap.
One thing to point out, it's been a very impressive recovery drive from Ackerman and Shanae.
Oh, without a doubt. Shanae, I think, went down to 11th. Last.
Yeah.
And Ackerman was down to about 8th or 9th place. So, and they were still fighting with one another as well. So clearly, yeah. I think they had light damage, which would have been manageable for the race.
Yeah, it's been a really good recovery drive.
See, Ackerman, I keep talking about Altosius and Shanae and Ackerman, all the same names, all the same person. Elcor right on the spoiler of the Aston Martin. He's got 1 lap left coming into the 2nd sector now. Is he going to try and go for a switchback? Unfortunately, he goes a little too far down the inside, almost hitting the grass. Had to back out of that fight. Will Elcor be able to cut that gap down? He's taking a tight line, as tight as he can go. It's a now or never move for that 4th place, sorry. Into the S's, into 6 and 7, or 7 and 8. Round corner 9, very difficult corner that I find. I find my back end likes to slide out of that corner, now down the 2nd straight of the track. Approaching the 3rd sector, will Elcor be able to make this move? He's trying to get closer and closer into the chicane. Into the first chicane as Oosby now crosses the line to finish the race. Round the 12th corner into the 13th corner, a right-hander, sharp right-hander into the left and right chicane before the main straight. Elcor still right on the spoiler. Fortunately, gets a brilliant exit out of the corner, tries to go down the inside. He's put his car there brilliantly. They are side by side. Unfortunately, though, Cullen does find the pace out of that final corner, managed to keep his car ahead. Brilliant drive by the two.
What a close fight.
Let's see, slightly further down grid, who do we have next across the line? Barbru, the... Oh, we've got a nice leisurely drive. I've got to cut it because we've got a nice leisurely drive by our 3 contenders.
The trees are blocking it.
Well, the trees are actually perfect. Oh, okay, the bridge just had to appear there, and there goes Shanae. That is a brilliant race. As we now get to see some donuts from the drivers. As we finish the race, finally. 45-minute Iran-Catalunya. Shanae in the sand pits. showing off those donut skills. Beautiful donuts. Though none of them will be getting the banner pose today. I think we've already got our banner winner for the server.
Yep.
Happy Face up into 9th. Brilliant race from him. Great recovery from an unfortunate spin out of one of the corners. Hopefully, we might have an interview. Potentially, I don't know. It is an optional. Understandably so. The drivers have been driving 45 minutes in the race, 15 minutes for qualifying, and probably about an hour before that for free practice. So all of them will be dead tired, and I would completely understand their want to stay away from it. As we have, let's see. Oh, we'll just stick it on Landshark because we got a beautiful helicopter cam of his car shitting and relaxing in the pit in the sandbox. We don't have our pro race winners, but we do have Vin, I believe. Vin, are you Falkenberg, the GT4 driver?
Yes.
That was a brilliant race. You managed to have a very clean gap to the drivers behind you. How's that race for you?
It was a lot of pressure because when you have a big gap, some people can really like thrive under it, but I get very pressured because Falzetti and Kirby are actually faster than me. But we had like a few incidents in turn 1 where they lost out and they battled behind me, so I built that gap. If it went on for like 15 more minutes, they could have well catched me. But yeah, pretty good so far.
Indeed, as that's a win as well. So huge points for the GT4 Championship. I'm unclear about the standings. I think you're in the lead, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So strong points for you in the championship. Unfortunately, Discord does not want to work, so I cannot actually look at the standings at the moment. But no, it was a good race.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Oh, gotta love some technical difficulties, but thank you for racing with us for round 5. Are you excited for round 6? Over to Hungary for next week.
Oh
Thanks,
yeah,
Hungary.
definitely. I like the Hungaroring, but it's probably gonna be a bit tricky with the GT4. We of course don't have the same amount of downforce as a GT3, and Hungary, as to me, seems to have a few corners where you need that downforce. But I'm a bit excited because I really love the track.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for racing for round 5. We'll see you next week.
Yep. See you.
And I think that will conclude all of the interviews today. And as I said just before, a lot of the drivers will be extremely tired from that race. I mean, it is a very tiring race for the whole thing. Unfortunately, James disconnected. We had a nice 3-way battle at the start of the race for who was it? Shanae, Oozby, and Cthulhu. Not Cthulhu. Who am I on about? Oozby, sorry. So a very good battle indeed for all of the drivers. But that will conclude today's stream for ACC for round 5. Thank you for everyone for joining. And we'll see you next week for Hungary for the next ACC stream. The next Twitch stream, I will be doing Tier 2 tomorrow at 1800 UTC. We'll be doing F122 Tier 2 at Zandvoort, and at 2000 hours for UTC again, I will be streaming Tier 1, our most competitive F122 league, with no assists at all for all of the drivers there today. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Ollie, for co-commentating with me today. Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
And I will see you guys later.